Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review number 212. And I am the moderator, Virtue, being joined by this week's elite panel of NoDQ. Of course, Aaron Rift is here as always. Big G, happy to be here again. Walter Cruz, sticking to his shtick. And JJ the Renegade is back on the show. Good to have you on. JJ, what's up?
Not a whole lot, man. Just trying to get through the week, dealing with all the wrestling on programming, trying to cram through the movies that I do for my reviews, work, a little bit of everything, man.
Yeah, and you guys, so you critique movies?
Yeah.
Or review them? I want to critique the people that critique movies and video games. Like, I want to put a site together that critiques critics. I think that would be great. That would be fun. And their stances and opinions. And the reason being is because I want to call out the bad ones for their BS, but I want to put over the good critics. And when I say, like, they don't have to put everything over. Like, if they don't like something, that's fine. But the critics that really, in wrestling too, we're going through this. If people really don't like something, they got to really, like, go, like, low and, like, just present it as something really bad instead of talking about what they do like. That's always been a problem of mine. So maybe I'll critique your movie review show. I don't know.
Hey, I'm down for it.
We'll see. But good to have you on. And we're here to talk about wrestling tonight, obviously, here on the NoDQ Review. Walter Cruz with the Bloodline shirt. What's up?
Nothing much. Thank you for having me again. As always thankful to be up here and just ready to get into it.
Hey, I thought it was bad when Big G has merch on the site. Anybody can have merch. Now Walter Cruz has a shirt on there. So... You know what? But no, people go check it out. It's up there on nodq.com/merch, as well as the vintage Virtue shirts that used to be on Pro Wrestling Tees, such as this one right here and the Virtue's Rage shirt, and then Walter Cruz's new shirt. And I think, Big G, you're going to have something new soon, too.
Yes, I am.
Go get it. It's all affiliated to NoDQ. That's what's important, people. Holidays are coming up. Sales are there. So, Walter, you know what's going to happen this show, right? You're going to talk a lot, and people are going to maybe agree with you, probably argue with you in the chat. We'll see. Big G, what's up?
I'm doing pretty good. Working. Holidays are coming through, so work's getting busier. Catching up on Chucky, and then watching Married with Children on the side as well. So got that going on.
Nice.
Other than that, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
Let's get it rolling. Aaron Rift, you got anything before we get rolling here?
Well, Walter did send in a $5 super chat because he's the big baller. No offense to Big Baller G. He says, welcome to NoDQ Review 212. Say yes to NoDQ. Lake or Luke, whatever. And share. Hashtag stick to my shtick. Hashtag spelling errors. Check all new NoDQ merchandise. Cheap plugs right at the start. So yes, go to nodq.com/merch. We got some new gear up there. And you could use the code EARLYBIRD to get 20% off. And shout out to all those early birds: Darren G, Caleb Jacobs, Da Boy Fernando, Nick Lavin, Dave, Christopher, Ken Terminates DQ, Michael Wayne, and Psycho Jet Black, of course. Him and his brother, Psycho Jet White, were very active during the greatest wrestling Q&A ever. He says, is Mo Camera more over than Austin Theory? At this point, yes. But if you really want me to praise Mo Camera, as the saying goes, we're going to need some Mo money. Anyways, let's get the ball rolling.
All right. Well, first topic is I'm only going to pick one thing off Crown Jewel to talk about, and that was Logan Paul's performance against Roman Reigns. Let's face it, he's only a few matches in, and every time he has delivered, if not has gotten way better in the ring. We know that he takes it pretty seriously in terms, like Bad Bunny did too, making sure they're trained and at least can go out there and hit their spots with the particular people they're working with in the match. So what's everybody's thoughts on Logan Paul so far in WWE? His brother Jake made an appearance. Of course, everybody wants that blood money over there. Jake Paul's his brother who's been doing the celebrity boxing. He's undefeated, I believe, 5 or 6-0. And here we are, the two Paul brothers from, I think, Cleveland area. I don't know. YouTube stars, social media stars. and WWE's trying to cash in on those type of people like Bad Bunny in the music industry. And as much as the thing with Bad Bunny, my problem was with him, his size and kind of what he was doing. Logan Paul is still kind of a skinny dude, but chiseled, shirt off. And I'm telling you what, he looks impressive. Did the boxing stuff, so he had some fighting. Even if it's amateurish, he did some. I think he went against Mayweather in a celebrity boxing match.
He was also an amateur
Walter
wrestler.
Cruz. I'll start with you here. I'm impressed by Logan Paul so far, and I put him right up there like Pat McAfee, right? Maybe 1A and 1B is those celebs that just come in and they get it and they look good and they're listening to the advice they're getting, I think. Like from Shawn Michaels, and we're not supposed to know that stuff, but we do. What's your thoughts here on one Logan Paul, who is not the champion, by the way?
I mean, what can you say? You can't deny it. People can dislike who he is and online and some of the things you say, but you can't deny that he puts his all into something. When you give him the chance, he takes whatever the ball you give him and he runs with it. And he scores a touchdown every time. And each match gets better and better. So, bless him. Hopefully he recovers pretty soon because they say he might have tore his, I believe it was his ACL. So, that's going to happen. You just trained. You came new. You tried something big. But that spot's got over 1 million views. I mean, that's like one of the most watched YouTube things this year alone. And that spot where he jumped on top of Roman, it's got over 1.1 million views or something last time I checked. So yeah, kudos to him. It's good to see a celebrity come in and take something serious and do something like that most people would just think, oh, it's because he's a celebrity. They want the money, but he took it damn serious. He got trained by HBK. And I mean, there's not much more you can say about it. Kudos to him.
Injury, huh?
Yeah.
Injury. Man, I'm telling you, Andy Kaufman pulled it off. Bold prediction. Bold prediction by me right now. Logan Paul will be in the Royal Rumble. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
And again, if you messed all that stuff up, that sucks, have surgery. I think we would have noticeably saw something that night watching that. And we didn't. So I don't know if adrenaline can carry you if you blew out all those things like he did. So I'm saying he's a master craftsman and he's out there presenting it himself on his social media, not letting it go through a dirt sheet. Work or shoot, great work. And if he is hurt, get well soon. Be back for WrestleMania. Big G, what do you have? Any thoughts here?
I mean, people boo him, but then it was so funny. Like the people in Saudi, they were cheering for him, which was awesome. But he's impressed me so far in his 3 matches. And if he did get legit hurt, which I think he did, I mean, on his Impulsive show, he said he tore everything and whatever. But anyways, he did what he had to do. He made you believe that he could beat Roman Reigns that night. And there was a couple occasions where, you thought he would win. But ultimately, Roman Reigns won. And he's on his 800-day reign as champion now. But yeah, not much else to say. Good match. You had Jake Paul come out there. There was like stuff out there saying that Jake Paul and Logan Paul might be a tag team in WWE down the road, which I could see, There
you go.
I mean, they're big social media people. So people who follow them, they are bringing in new viewers to the WWE, which is what WWE ultimately wants. They want new viewers. So, and what better way to have than Logan Paul, one of the biggest social media influencers out there. And I don't think he beat Floyd. Oh my God, I'm like flustered.
It was a draw.
No, he did it. He did it.
It was a draw, yeah. And then you had Jake Paul just beat Anderson Silva. So I mean, you got those two out there. So hopefully it's a speedy recovery for Logan Paul. And I could see Virtue. I'm gonna agree with you again for like the millionth time on the show. I think he will be in the Royal Rumble.
I mean,
it helps that he's a legit 6'4" too.
Andy Kaufman legit went to the hospital to try to sell his injuries from Jerry Lawler. And that's a missed thing. Like, man, I wish wrestlers would do that to fool people and just get everybody to believe something. Oh, man. So, this is the one time I want to be worked You know what I mean? It'd be so great. Then he shows up like way sooner than you think, because it would be shocking if everybody believed it. He could be hurt. He did some crazy stuff in that match. So
I grew up for years thinking Andy Kaufman was really hurt. Like for years of my childhood thinking that was real.
I was gonna say he did a better buckshot lariat than Adam Page did.
Oh, it was amazing, dude.
Thank you.
Of course, he did it better than CM Punk, because CM Punk botched it twice. Should have even attempted that move. Punk, you're better than that. You don't do stuff like that. Adam Page does it fairly well. Logan Paul did it damn good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. JJ, there, now it's your turn. I made you wait.
I mean, not a whole lot to add to what Walter and G just said, but the injury portion of it, I'm still not sold whether it's real or not. I think that even if it is real, I would say don't come back for the Rumble. That would be too short term, I think. But come
JJ,
back,
that's contingent. Me saying that is contingent on if it's not really an injury.
Right.
Or if it's just a minor thing and he lied about how bad it is. You know what I mean?
Right. But I'm just saying, like, even if it's not injured, don't come back at the Rumble. Sell it a little bit longer like it is. Come back in time for Mania. We were talking about over on Open Mic Night, just after the coverage of Crown Jewel, seeing the Paul brothers versus the Usos for the tag straps at Mania.
There you
I
go.
mean, I feel like that's where this could lead to if they're smart with it. Don't bring him into the Rumble. I feel that would be a waste of a surprise spot that could go to a number of other people.
That's true.
Save it, have him come around again between Chamber and Mania and start that feud up again. Okay, well, we weren't able to dethrone the tribal chief, but now we're coming after the Usos, the Paul brothers versus the Usos.
There you go. I mean, yeah, why not? Like, the thing is, I wouldn't think it's a wasted spot though, JJ, because this guy, we've seen it clearly now. He's good, and people want to hate him because of who he is and how he got famous and made all his money. But like, he's proven all his haters, like, hey, I can do this. So I don't think it would be a wasted spot at all if he came back that early. Just my opinion.
I'm not taking anything away from Logan Paul. I was putting him over like crazy during the show.
Mm-hmm.
I put him up in my top 3 of modern celebrities to come over, along with Bad Bunny, who you mentioned earlier, and Stephen Amell. I think those 3 out of the more recent celebs to kind of cross over into the biz kind of get it. And Logan did amazing, but we're going to get to Cena later in the show. Cena could have a surprise spot in the Rumble if Orton is ready to come back. Cody, there's all these other bigger names I feel that could take that surprise spot in the Rumble, where Logan, not to take anything away from him, but would be better suited pushing down the road towards the Usos, I think.
We know how WWE treats the Royal Rumble and the surprises, and we rarely don't get the expectations we want. And it's always something like, oh, and that's why I'm confident in thinking if he's not seriously hurt, Logan Paul, because it's never the big names, right? When was the last time? Edge?
I felt like they slowed down.
Like,
in
Edge was the
years.
last big return, right? When he did in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And Aaron, can you think of any other big ones like the last 5 to 7 years besides Edge that like really was like cool, like when it happened, like you thought they could make an instant difference? It seems like they've gone away from that. Okay.
2011.
In other words,
anyway, go ahead, Aaron. Over to you.
Well, going off of what JJ said, I like the idea of the Paul brothers going up against the Usos, but I think it's going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania. But I think in 2023, we will see Logan Paul back, whether the injury is legitimate or not. I think we'll see him later in the year. I could see them doing the tag match, the Paul brothers versus the Usos in Saudi Arabia in May of 2023. That's when the next Saudi Arabia show is going to be. That's my prediction at this time. We will see the Paul brothers team up in 2023. That'll be their next big match. The question is, will Jake Paul be able to perform at the level of Logan? That remains to be seen. However,
protect
I think
him in a tag match, right? Doesn't
Yeah,
have
and
to
I
be in
think
there as much.
I think Logan is good enough that he can carry it, and Jake Paul can just tag in and do a few moves and hide whatever weaknesses Jake might have. I'm
What
looking
about a
forward to that.
heel Paul Brothers versus a babyface Owens and Zayn after they win the titles? There you go. There's another potential.
Yeah, although I don't think we'll be seeing Owens and Zayn in Saudi Arabia. I feel like the Paul
SummerSlam.
brothers will team up in Saudi Arabia. Maybe SummerSlam if they hold it off. That's a possibility too. But yeah, Logan Paul is great, and look forward to seeing his next match. I know he is very polarizing, but he's entertaining, and I think that he proved that he deserved the spot. And there was a comment in the chat about like how could he be credible against Roman Reigns with only 2 matches, but Floyd Mayweather was brought up, and he held his own against one of the best boxers in the world. So there you go.
I'll tell you one thing about the injury. He can't stay off social media. So if it's real, we're going to see surgery photos or something on social media.
But
Unless
like you can
tells
work
them you
all
gotta
of that.
stay off. Yeah,
you
that's
can
true.
work all of that. You can have fake doctors' rooms. Like, I mean, I want to
That's
see
true.
it, right? But anyway,
That's
we'll
true.
see. You know. All right, we ready to move on?
We do have a few super chats here.
I
Psycho
forgot.
Jet Blacks comment here. Logan Paul and Bad Bunny are more entertaining than Von Wagner. Yes.
Agreed.
I think we
I'm
all
not
agree.
a Bad Bunny fan. I think what it is with Bad Bunny, I just don't like his music. I don't
Well,
get
I
it.
haven't-
Don't like it.
Yeah,
But
I've
I,
never
you
been
know,
a
so I
fan of
kind of
his
like
music
carried that
either.
over against him into his wrestling. But he did prepare himself for wrestling, so I can't deny that.
Right.
Yeah. Von Wagner's in NXT, right? I haven't been keeping up, so I don't even know.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
But
he's
nobody
supposed
cares.
to be going up against Braun Breaker next.
Okay.
Oh, well, shit. Hopefully Braun retains. Dave Scheffler sent in $2. Thank you, Dave. Says, are they holding Kevin Owens out till the Sami Zayn face turn? Not necessarily. There was another comment about KO. Where has he been? And KO was not part of Crown Jewel. He doesn't travel to Saudi Arabia, so they kept him off TV. I suspect we will see him back for War Games, which shocked me if he's not in War Games against the Bloodline. And we'll continue to see that storyline develop where Sami Zayn is caught in the middle, and eventually him and Kevin Owens will reunite against the Usos, and that will be the WrestleMania match. It's just a matter of when everything goes south for Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. But I think they're going to drag it out until maybe Elimination Chamber.
They could
So
drag
we'll
it out,
get a
but
few more months.
you know, it'd be interesting if like Kevin has a team and it's missing one spot and they have to face the Bloodline with the missing one spot. Then you start to think, well, maybe Sammy's gonna turn, and that's why. Like, that'll be kind of an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah.
Like if Kevin has an open spot on his team, and then you're thinking like, why is it odd 4 versus 5, and then that could be it.
Well, there's an idea. But yeah, we're caught up now.
Okay. So I have no problem with like Seth Rollins winning the U.S. title and trying to make it mean something. Like, you know, Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion, trying to make that mean something on the other show because Roman has the other titles and he's not always there. Definitely, I'm fine with that. For years, we wanted the IC and U.S. titles to mean like what they used to back in the 80s and early 90s. And, you know, like DDP was the U.S. champ in WCW. But why? Like, if they couldn't get out of this, right? Vince McMahon's vision of Austin Theory is out the window. There, you know, Triple H maybe wants to get him, you know, change it up a little bit, make him prove himself to him. They could have got out. Like, why not just have him cashing it on Roman Reigns and lose? Why did they do this with Seth Rollins in the U.S. title? This makes me think that the whole Money in the Bank concept means crap. I would have rather seen him do the NXT title and go there and maybe win that and then just exchange it back and forth and have a little program with, is it still Braun Breaker as a champ down there?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, like, explain. I know there's nobody that can possibly like this or think that, and I get it, right? There's something going on. They want to restart fresh maybe with Austin Theory, and they wanted to get out of that. But come on, guys. Couldn't they have had him just lose it to Reigns? All those times he tried to cash it in and he got punched or something happened, and then he finally got the opportunity and maybe even had a close call, but then Reigns said no, beats him, and then it's over. You can go in the history books with Corbin and whatever, and we wouldn't sit here nitpicking it this much. JJ, what happened here? Am I like? There's no shock value. I mean, unless Triple H is like, this will get him talking. Go.
I have to try to pick my words wisely because I know how Aaron's channel is with the profanities, because I swear I am like the only Theory fan that I know.
I don't hate Theory, by the way.
Right. Like,
well, Theory with no Vince, it loses that oomph to me.
I'm sitting here scratching my head because a lot of people I'm talking to are laughing that he got jobbed out and punked like that. A lot of people I'm talking to say that, oh, well, he wasn't going to win anyway, so just get the briefcase off him. He had until July, y'all. Chances are Roman is going to lose one or both the belts by Mania. Theory could have cashed in when the year was coming closer to an end. Like, there was no necessary reason for Theory to have to go out the way he did. None. It didn't help anybody. It doesn't help Seth. It doesn't help Lashley. And it damn sure doesn't help Theory. Period. Like, I would have liked to have seen him go out to cash the briefcase, and whoever has the briefcase next, whether it's the Money in the Bank show next year, or if they put the matches back at Mania like they're talking about, as soon as Theory cashes in and looks like he's going to win, bam, here comes somebody else to cash in on Theory. Like, there's so many other ways they could have done this. Like you said, he could have cashed in on Breaker and NXT. That would have made more sense than this. I'm just beyond scratching my head about what they did to Theory here.
And hey, JJ, he could have cashed it in and tried to be like a Cena. I'm going to cash it in not the right way, and we're going to have a match. I challenge Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble just to give Roman some WrestleMania filler.
Yeah. I mean,
but they got other plans, apparently.
I still see a lot of promise and hope in Theory's future. I may be on an island unto myself here, but I see Theory as the next Randy Orton for the company. He's that young guy that may be getting hot-shotted, fast-tracked right now. A little too soon, but give him some time to really grow like Orton 08 when he started to get back to that title picture. You're going to see some great things from Austin Theory. He's got it. You
heard it from JJ, the Renegade. Wasn't there a wrestler called the Renegade back in the day?
We don't talk about that. That's Bruno status. We don't talk about that.
Okay. Walter, over to you.
Yeah, JJ said it all. Like, I don't know what the hell was the purpose of this, but maybe
did it elevate the U.S. title in your opinion?
I guess it made it seem like more important that somebody would take the time to actually cash in on it. But I mean, you made Theory look weak. That Seth got his ass kicked and kicked out of everything that Theory put on him, and then it was all courageous that he jumped in the ring before the 10. Oh wow, he made it just to get stomped. Like, it just. Hopefully this is just the restart button for Theory, and I do respect Theory. I'm not a fan of his, but maybe this is just a speed bump in his road. He was fast-tracked too fast, and they need to slow him down. And like you said, Virtue, prove himself to Triple H, and maybe this is just a restart. Maybe he'll be on SmackDown, earn some wins, and earn his way back up. So I mean it's not over.
He had that WrestleMania moment, took that stunner, which was a good sell. You know, the whole thing with Vince, he won the Money in the Bank clearly when Vince was there. And boy, it's just, man, no Vince, no love from management for Austin Theory. But down the road, we could look back at this and be like, man, we were wrong. Triple H. I know people like Tito are in the chat like, nope, Triple H, Austin Theory's done. Yeah.
You stepped all over the Money in the Bank though, because it's like, what's next? Somebody's gonna cash in for the tag titles with their friend now. Like, it's like almost seems like it's gonna go downhill instead of maybe it'll go uphill and somebody would do something better. Like, they made it seem so crappy. Like, I'm trying not to curse too. Like, they made
Put it at WrestleMania again. Make it a WrestleMania match, and wouldn't that be something if he won it back?
Yeah, but
anyway,
like,
maybe we'll see him in
but
NXT. They like
Money
to
in the
take
Bank
some
was
guys
like
down there.
underdog people who we didn't expect to win, and we're like, holy crap, they won, and we got behind now. Now, because the theory, we're gonna be like, he's probably gonna lose. Now we're not gonna believe that person's gonna be strong enough.
That's a good point.
I think this is a result of, we always talk about long-term storytelling. I think somebody said, okay, we'll give him the Money in the Bank case. And then they never thought, okay, what do we do after that? They just pick the winner, and they don't think what the hell to do with the case after. They just randomly, and then they're like, oh, we'll play it by ear. And then the crappy, oh, this happens, where the Miz has to beat Otis to win just for Bobby Lashley to cash. It's like they don't think ahead. So then you get stuck in this weird moment where you got to like, what the hell do we do with it? Like, I feel like backstage, everybody forgot about this case at one point until, even though he says it every week, I'm the youngest, people was like, what the hell do we do with it? And then I feel like this was just thrown at the wall and it stuck like the same day or something. I feel like this wasn't planned. Like, it just, somebody threw a dart at the wall and was like, hey, I got an idea. And they were like, hey, let's run with it now. Like,
well, at least the 24/7 title's gone now, right?
Yeah.
So they did something, right?
That title means so much crap that she missed the trash when she tried to put it in.
I mean, you could look at it this way, JJ. He did cash it in on Seth Rollins, who we're trying to believe is like one of the main pieces of Raw, with the title every week, willing to fight and have matches. They could have really buried Theory and had him cash it in on the 24/7 title after it was defunct. So at least they didn't go all out. Like, there's light at the end of the tunnel for Theory.
The blessing of R-Truth being injured is he didn't pop out of the trash can with the belt after she threw it out. Because I feel like if he wasn't injured, they would have did some crap like that.
Yeah, he would have been in the trash.
He would have rose up with the title again.
All right, Big G, you're the difference maker here, man. Can you, are you all for this? Are you, that was great for Seth Rollins because he had somebody coming after him unexpectedly.
Well, they are trying to make the U.S. title the main title for Raw. And, since Roman is on SmackDown and they don't have him showing up every week and defending the title. And I think that's one of the reasons why they had Theory cash in on Rollins instead of Roman, because Roman's part-time, but with WrestleMania coming up and WrestleMania season's coming up, I think they wanted to take away the focus of Theory cashing in on Roman Reigns.
You know what? Damn good point. That's a damn good point. Elaborate on that.
All right. So you interrupted me, Virtue. Damn it.
Big G, you were basically saying the reason for this is because the cloud of Roman having the titles and nobody can challenge him other than that Ultimate Contender.
Exactly.
Just to get rid of him, get him off.
And the two times that he did try to cash on Roman was at SummerSlam, and he got pretty much effed up by Lesnar and Reigns. And then at Clash of the Castle, he got knocked out by Tyson Fury. So, and I think Triple H's plan was, well, this was a Vince project. I still have faith in Theory, but I want to get the case off of him, like I said, because we all knew, and I think Triple H knew, and people backstage knew that Theory was never going to beat Roman Reigns for it. So why now go after the quote-unquote main title on Raw now, which is the U.S. title, and Seth Rollins, he's a multi-champion in WWE. He's held the Universal and WWE title, so he's credible. But then I think people are going crazy over it because Lashley had answered the open challenge, but the match never really got underway because he pretty much beat up Rollins. And then, well, here comes Theory, and Theory's got a better chance of beating Rollins than he does Roman Reigns. So, but then you involve Lashley now again, and
Theory already had that title.
And how do you protect Theory? Well, he doesn't want to lose by count out, so obviously he's gonna make it in before 10, and then Rollins is gonna hit the stomp. So, I think JJ and Walter both said it. I think this is a restart for Theory, though. So.
Well said, Big G. And I don't think you expected me to put your your theory over like I did, and it's not that your mind went blank. You were just flabbergasted that I gave you praise on your opinion there.
Yes.
So yes, I am fair and impartial, and I will do that. All right, Aaron, over to you. And NoDQ Galaxy, if you have any, like, what do you think Theory should have done with that briefcase? I don't know if anybody's been chatting, super chat a buck or two. Tell us, because I'm interested. Like, my guess or my opinion would have been have him cashing in at the Royal Rumble ahead of time just to get a match out of Roman at a major pay-per-view. Aaron, over to you.
I agree with you 100% on that. I think that he should have just cashed in on Roman Reigns, but it wasn't meant to be. I think that he can be rehabbed from this. I could see him maybe even turning face and starting from scratch, just admitting that he screwed up. He's humbled and he's got to work his way back up and go through the roster and slowly build himself up over time. Like I mentioned on the Monday night stream, it reminded me in a way of Drew McIntyre when Drew McIntyre was the chosen one and then he kind of fizzled out. Same thing with Theory, where he was Vince's chosen one, but it was too soon. He's still young. He still has time. And I think it would be believable if he was humbled and kind of went in that babyface direction and started working his way up the roster and gain more experience. And then eventually he can be a real force in WWE and be a real contender, because it was pretty clear, like the way this year went, he just wasn't in that deserving spot. He just did not really earn to be Mr. Money in the Bank. He had Vince helping him out with everything, and he lost pretty much every match he was in. When he did win, he had to use dirty tactics. He never won clean, really. It was not a good year for him, even though he did win Money in the Bank.
He wasn't advertised for the match. Didn't he just show up at the beginning?
Yeah, Adam Pearce said there was one more opponent, and that's when Austin did.
Yeah, it was a joke. The whole thing with him was a joke. But yeah, I think you can rebuild him up. It's going to take time, though. And yeah, maybe with Money in the Bank moving back to WrestleMania, Triple H wanted to just get this storyline over with and end it now and rehab Theory. We'll see what they do. Like, I'm not going to knock Triple H until we see what happens with Theory a year from now. And if he's even employed a year from now, I guess that'll be a good thing. And if maybe he'll be in a bigger position than he is right now, we'll have to wait and see.
As long as they don't resurrect the 3-man band with Jinder Mahal.
Oh, well, that's a possibility because Jinder Mahal has got nothing going on right now.
Didn't Jeff say on the show on Tuesday, why not have the Way come back as a babyface team?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility too. Like, you could do a Theory face turn. And
for him to go face, wouldn't he have to get rid of the whole selfie thing, though? Because
he would have to drop that, be humbled. But anyways, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, would the Theory cash-in had been better if Heat and Rollins would it?
It says, okay, would it have been better if there was Heat and Rollins had a long match, got pinned cleanly, but Theory looked okay. Yeah, I'm confused by that.
Maybe if Lashley and Rollins actually had a match and it went quite a bit. Yeah. And Theory cashed in. Is that?
Oh, Lashley. Yeah. Okay. I see. Okay. I think.
I think there was really no good outcome for Theory because he was never going to beat Roman Reigns clean.
No.
And him winning in a cheap manner would have been terrible after the run that Reigns has had. And yeah, he could have won the U.S. title, but he already had the title. I mean, they were really backed into a corner on this one.
Yeah.
I think it was a mistake making him Mr. Money in the Bank in the first place.
What made it worse is it was an open challenge. Before Bobby beat up Mustafa, you should have just answered the challenge. You didn't have to cash in. Just go answer the open challenge.
Yeah, he could go for the title, and then if he lost, he could jump Rollins from behind and then cash it in and pin him after Rollins.
Well, didn't technically Lashley answer the open challenge?
Yes.
So, yeah, but while he was busy beating up Mustafa, you could have just walked out and answered the challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't think they were that backed into the corner because they had till July.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
You know,
if
if Cody Rhodes comes back and faces Roman at Mania,
yeah,
and it's not The Rock, then he could have cashed in on Cody after Cody dethrones Roman.
but I think
If it is
they
The Rock
kept
at Mania,
if they kept the Universal and WWE titles separate and Roman was still running with the Universal, they'd have a whole nother championship. They could have had
Yeah.
more possibilities to figure
you
out
know,
something.
if it
Or
is
you
The
wanna
Rock,
make him-
once
they-
Rocky
they're-
wins,
Or you want to
whatever.
make him an instant star. Rock would have beat Roman for the title. Theory catches in on Rock and walks out the champ. He would have been the biggest star ever. Roman couldn't beat
Exactly.
The Rock, but he did it.
There's
Well,
so
like
many other ways they could have done this.
I think Triple H wanted to tie up all loose ends with Vince.
Yeah,
And that
and
was
they
the
could have
last-
they
that
could
was
have
the
had
last straw.
Theory put up the briefcase and do the whole Otis deal. They could have done that, but you know
Yeah.
what? It's done. What's done is done. And I just hope the next Money in the Bank winner is somebody that they definitely have plans on making the world champion and not job the guy out. They got to stop doing that too. Like this idea of the Money in the Bank winner having to lose every match before cashing in and winning the title. Like to me, it's ridiculous. I
And on
guess
the flip-
their thought process is that, well, this guy's going to be the champion, so we'll just have him lose a bunch of times before he wins. But I'm not a
Before we
fan.
go on to the next topic, did anybody think in 2005? Do you think Edge? How do I want to phrase this? Did anybody think in 2005 that Edge would beat John Cena by cashing in the Money in the Bank?
Yes.
it was fresh back then, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. On the flip side, to add to what Aaron's saying, with the women, you got to stop doing that same night cash in too to make it seem
Yeah,
more
that's
important.
true.
Make the woman hang on for it for a long time too.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Filler topic: AEW. Big G. I'll start with you on this one. I mean, Jeff Jarrett did his promo, taking shots at WWE. Clever, get him in, right? He formerly worked there. He wants to appease the AEW fans who get a giggle out of that stuff.
Yeah.
Saraya, I don't know, is that how you say Paige, right? Most known is Paige in the world of wrestling. She gonna wrestle again, right? And we've been expecting this at some point. So let's actually see her wrestle and see how it all goes. But the latest in AEW, Big G, anything. I mean, you attended the event not too long ago,
Yeah.
and you were thrilled. I wish Aaron had that picture. There you go.
Gee.
You
Oh
were
no,
thrilled.
he's gonna put it up. He's
You were
gonna
so
put it up.
thrilled to be there. Go ahead, man. You got to get those. Mo Camera loves his AEW discussion.
I mean,
so here you go, Mo.
The promo between Britt and Saraya was pretty good. I was listening to Busted Open, and Bully Ray was saying his shtick.
Did it call you out again?
No, I didn't call in this time.
I never heard the clip, by the way.
I'll have
Me
to.
neither.
I'll have to find it and see if I can. I can go if I go on their Busted Open on YouTube.
Yes.
I can
And
probably
there's
find
no
it.
Jeff. Look at
Yeah.
Jeff. He's like, next week I'm gonna cut a promo against Triple H. Yeah. Look at that.
But yeah, I'm looking for. Obviously, I'm looking towards that match between the two at Full Gear. Jeff Jarrett cutting the promo. Typical Jarrett cutting a heel promo on the company that he used to work for not too long ago. And they're teaming up with, like I said, Darby or him and Jay Lethal versus Darby Allin and Sting.
Hey, G, did you see my screenshot of how many tickets were still left for next week Dynamite and the
Yeah,
price?
so-
That was ridiculous.
I mean, the AEW shows really haven't been selling out as they used to.
Oh, put Mo Camera's comment up there, Aaron. Wow, look at that.
I do not like it. I hate Tony after dropping the bomb. Fuck.
Wow.
Wow.
The Punk fan is what he was. Woo.
I enjoyed the MJF and Moxley promos. They pretty much put each other over, and I like how they're keeping MJF away from Moxley. That way, when it comes to Full Gear, we can actually have a good match and not face to face and having altercations and all that stuff. So I enjoyed the show last night. I thought it was pretty decent.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Walter Cruz.
I know WWE does this over the years, but we're talking about AEW. They're going to the well too much with the same stuff. They've done that wrap it up crap before, where somebody gets mad that the guy's telling them they got to go to commercial and wrap it up. That was just a few weeks ago that they already did that. They've done this talk crap or take shots at WWE for ever since their existence. Like, stop this crap. Stop worrying about what WWE is doing and worry about yourselves. Like that. It's like they can't let it go. Like, I'm getting tired of that. It's like so boring to me. Stop popping shots at WWE. I know WWE and WCW used to do that back in the day, but that was like over 20 years ago. Like, enough is enough. Like, worry about you and what direction you're going in and what you're doing with what's going on backstage. Then what is WWE doing? They're a separate company. You're supposed to be their competition. Don't pay too much attention to them and worry about you. And in terms of Jeff, it's just the same boring heel promo you get everywhere. Like, I want to see something fresh and something new. It's just the same crap over and over again. But in terms of Saraya, I've never been more worried about a wrestler as much as like since Daniel Bryan. Like, I'm really concerned for her. Like, I hope everything goes well with her.
Now, Walter, I want to
really
ask you this question because I've seen people on Twitter saying, everybody was so excited when Edge came back, when Daniel Bryan came back, but now everybody's concerned about Paige. What's the deal here? Why the hypocrisy?
Edge spaced it out. He waited 11 years, and you can see he's older. He's a little wiser. I'm not calling Saraya.
I'll say it.
He's
Walter,
wiser.
I'll say it for you.
Own body.
I'll say it for you. I'll say it for you. Quit beating around the bush. People are worried about Paige because of the poor quality of women's wrestling in AEW and the potential of more botches. It could be life altering. I'm sorry. That's the truth. I said it. I don't care.
It's true. Like, she got hurt by like the smallest. Like, I think Sasha Banks kind of like stepped forward and like gave her like a forearm to like this area, and it was just over. It was like a weird. So it's like we don't know what doctor she went to get approved.
But we do actually. She tweeted the letter with the signature.
Well, I didn't see that. I don't follow her on Twitter.
Conveniently, you didn't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she's going to be a ringleader in her matches and hopefully be smart enough to only do stuff she should, not have an opponent put her in a vulnerable position. Mm-hmm. But like, it's rough. The AEW women's division is still rough. I mean, it is what it is.
Just hopefully she trained and everything goes well. It's just it hasn't been as long. Edge waited 11 years. It spaced out. He got stronger. He changed the whole way he trained. Like, hopefully she did that too, and hopefully she's all right. But there's been hell of a lot of botches at AEW.
Well, for Saraya, I think it's been like 5-6 years since her last match. So I mean, she's been out of the ring for a while, and I mean, I think Danielson, he was out for a while too, and not 11 years like Edge. But you got to remember when Edge got injured, the medical technology wasn't as far as an advance as it is now. So you got to take that into consideration too.
I mean, they could use her to get some good heat if they really want to build up a heel female and put the whole chair around the neck, and you know what I mean. They could do that stuff, which would be safe because that's.
I felt Saraya came off as the heel last night.
Well, yeah, they're not going to do that, but I'm saying there's ways there to get. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how it plays out.
I did see something where she admitted she screwed up or something.
I mean, look at Dr. Tito in the chat room. He seems to know everything about Paige's medical history.
Stalker much there, Tito?
I mean, authors get information and facts to back up what they say, and he writes on NoDQ. So maybe, he just did research. So what? All right, JJ. Over to you. You've been quiet long enough for this topic.
I feel like the other elephant in the room as far as Paige goes is how good are the AEW doctors compared to the WWE doctors? These are the same doctors that said that Jeff Hardy was good. And look at where that ended up.
Well, JJ, according to Saraya, she got cleared by this spinal specialist in Los Angeles. This was not somebody from AEW.
In Los Angeles, in Hollywood.
Yeah, in Hollywood.
Well, Cedar Sinai.
I mean,
isn't that where Doogie Howser was a doctor?
If she's really cleared to go, then more power to her. And I hope she doesn't get injured because I'm literally looking forward to this matchup. This is one of the few matches announced that I'm like really invested in because of her past issues. But as far as the other stuff, MJF and Moxley, I think like Tito pointed out that the promos were like really good. The way they're keeping them away from touching each other is good. Try to think of some of the other points that you brought up here.
Adrian's comment is throwing you off.
Yeah.
I just hope 30 years from now, like Vince, we don't get a controversy that we see Tony Khan was paying off doctors and stuff to say certain things so he can make money off of people.
The promos. The promos just are what they are. I saw a comment in the chat room about explain how Jeff Jarrett draws money. He draws money the way all the great heels do. You pay to see him lose. You pay to see him get his ass beat. At least that's what you did in NWA TNA. WCW, not so much. AEW still has to be proven there, but you paid money in TNA to watch him get his ass handed to him by people challenging for the titles. I did.
Well,
I always was supporting the baby faces, yet I was buying the pay-per-views every week. So
they drew those packed houses of 500 people.
Yeah, I was going to say, those
I mean, you know, I may not have been able to go to the live shows, never been to a TNA show that wasn't called, you know, PWG, but that just is what it is. I still was paying my money to see Jeff Jarrett get his ass beat. All the good heels have that to them.
You know,
Jarrett's going to be an office guy. He's not going to be on TV all that much. You know, he had his big debut. He's going to have this match, and then he's probably just going to hang out in the back and do office stuff and whatnot. You know, they'll trot him out there like WWE was doing for the one-off Rumble appearance, the old school Raws and stuff, you know, when it makes sense, but he's not going to be a week in, week out TV guy, I don't think.
Yeah. No, that was last week was the first time I had seen Jeff Jarrett in person. So just throwing that out there.
Really?
I'm sorry. My condolences.
Are him and Sting actually official?
That was my starstruck face that you saw last week.
It was announced on Dynamite last night.
Yeah.
This is official.
Yep.
Well, JJ, well said. Aaron, anything you'd like to add? I know you always recap Dynamite, so this is just, you know, same old dance, song and dance for you. But go ahead. We can move on to the main event soon, which is a big deal.
I just wanted to say that I am looking forward to Saraya's match at Full Gear. To me, that's one of the few matches that I'm hyped up for. I am looking forward to the main event, but I'm not sure how you guys feel. Overall, this feels like one of the most lackluster builds for an AEW show to date. I'm just not really feeling it that much. I'm sure it'll be a great show like the rest of them, but I think the build-up has been a little lackluster, quite frankly. I mean, they got one more week to go to finalize these matches, but
yeah,
I feel like something is lacking. We need like that really strong promo. Maybe we'll get it on next Wednesday's show. I just feel like something is missing from this build-up, and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are supposed to come back, but they've been doing these little videos, and we haven't seen them. I just hope the next week's show they knock it out of the park, because right now, Jeff Jarrett, okay, Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill, yeah, whatever, and the four-way match for the Ring of Honor title, I'm not caring about the Ring of Honor stuff whatsoever. I'm bored to tears with it, quite frankly. So I think they need to put this ROH rebranding or whatever they're doing, put it to pasture and leave the memories alone, as the saying goes, and get back to AEW being the focal point. Like, if they're not going to have a TV deal for Ring of Honor, like, what's the point? It's just taking up TV time with more titles.
Does it remind you in a way of the WWE version of WCW?
Yeah, very much so. Although they're trying to do something with it. It's just like Ring of Honor was not WCW, though. WCW was a major worldwide wrestling promotion that sold out arenas and competed with WWE. Ring of Honor was basically an indie promotion, and they're showcasing it on TV like it's this major league wrestling promotion when it really wasn't. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, who are the best 5 women's wrestlers in AEW?
Can I answer that?
Jade is one of them, definitely.
All right, so obviously Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, Jade Cargill, Chris Statlander when she's not injured, and oh god,
Tony Storm, Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Let's go with Thunder Rosa. Yeah.
Good for you,
Even
because I
though
couldn't
a lot
even
of people
name
don't
5.
like her these days. Anyways, we're
Okay.
caught up now.
Okay. Ready for the main event, gentlemen?
Let's
Let's
do it.
You can't see me. Look, we have WrestleMania next year in Hollywood, California, and I'm banking a lot on Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Now you can't see me. Showing up and having that fight with the Bloodline gimmick. To me, imagine that in Hollywood, right? And imagine John Cena in Hollywood, who is now a Hollywood star, having some other just good feud against somebody. So, gentlemen, John Cena loves his WWE. There's no Vince McMahon anymore, but we've seen Brock come back. Cena's come back himself. What's there for Cena to do? I think he has to be at Hollywood WrestleMania. What does he do, JJ? John Cena's a big deal because he got our live viewers up in the triple digits again tonight. Because Aaron put him as our little graphic, and John Cena always bringing in the numbers. JJ?
You know, I'm not sure who I would want to see Cena against out of the current crop of guys. Like, you want to give him
Austin
somebody.
Theory?
No.
I was going to say maybe Theory. You want to give him somebody who could really establish and make themselves with the defeat over him. Theory is a guy that comes to mind. Walter Gunther is a name that comes to mind.
That's a good one.
Even though they're probably going to do father versus son, Dominic Mysterio is somebody who could seriously get made by a match with Cena. You know, whether we think Dominic is at that level or not, out of the question. We still have time for him to work on himself, time to get better, and Cena usually helps elevate talent. I think, though, that it needs to be more of a nostalgia thing than anything with
Bray
Cena.
Wyatt.
I would
That was
either
what I
say
was gonna
Cena
say.
versus Edge, or since we are talking about Hollywood, maybe do Cena versus Batista, the Taskmaster versus Drax the Destroyer, Marvel versus DC. Two guys who have stepped out and really started to make names for themselves in Hollywood in the last decade, in the backyard of Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, Cena's come back and done his stuff at WrestleMania. You know, obviously the pandemic thing with Wyatt, that's not, it wasn't a match, right? We were led to believe it could have been something, and it was just like a gimmicky thing. Walter, the fact is, John Cena coming back to WrestleMania in Hollywood is a big deal because we're 2 nights now, and they need to have every blockbuster match they can possibly have, or a personality there where people, look, the Stone Cold thing worked well last year. Cena can still go. There's a lot of possibilities for him to be relevant for WrestleMania. What do you think?
There is. Before the debacle that happened on Raw, you would have thought Theory, but now that happened, that seems to wash away. I would love to see him give Wyatt his win back from the original WrestleMania when they fought. And Wyatt definitely should have went over that first match when he was the other gimmick, not the Fiend, but he was the cult leader gimmick, and he lost. So I wouldn't mind having that. But then again, maybe somebody who's up on the rise in NXT, like maybe a Braun Breaker. Imagine Cena putting him over and how big of a star that guy would become if you do that. NXT needs a good showcase. I know they have their own shows and what used to be takeovers, but if you feature NXT on WrestleMania itself, that's a good way to put that brand over. So there's a lot of things you can do with them. Like I like that he jobbed to Taker when he came back once. That was cool that he came out just to lose in 10 seconds or whatever. So Cena is willing to, I know Mo's like, if he's there just to win, but I think he's not going to win. I think he's there to put somebody over. And if he does do that, I think what I just said, Braun Breaker, that would be a good one to put him over and make him look like a big star. That would be good. Or give way. Mhm.
How about this? I'll come over to Big G now. How about
Okay.
John Cena versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I could see that happening. They've had matches before at SummerSlam and stuff like that, and they had good chemistry. So Seth
Broke
Rollins
his
is a
nose,
good
didn't he?
choice. I mean, everybody else pretty much mentioned
For the
everything.
U.S. Championship. Something that Cena made meaningful when he had it. After
Right.
he was world champion.
Right.
See,
but
again, it's
if-
all
if
there.
Cena-
It's all right in front of him.
Right, but if Cena wants to, go for one last title, everybody's saying in the comments, and we said it before, it has to be against Gunther for the IC title. That way, Cena can say he's an official Grand Slam champion in the WWE. But I mean, everybody you mentioned, Austin Theory. We just mentioned Seth Rollins, Gunther, Bray Wyatt, and anybody in a match against John Cena will be a good match. So whoever he goes, but the question is, I mean, yeah, John Cena,
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. So
Yes, JJ.
we'll see.
Here's one that came to my head while everyone else was naming off their matches. What about, instead of doing something like Cena versus Batista, doing Cena and Batista together, teaming up against Austin and The Rock?
That's if Batista wants to wrestle, because I know he said he was done.
Yeah, he said he's done. Definitely.
I mean, you
I mean,
never know.
he's put on
Payday's a
some- I don't
payday.
want to say he's. I don't want to say it, but he's like put on some weight. I don't know if he's in wrestling shape, but
And then again, it's not as PG. That his main reason was he couldn't do PG or something, right? Wasn't that his
Yeah,
main
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, you
I kind of
figure
wish.
it's the
I
two
kinda
faces
wish-
of the Ruthless Aggression era versus the two faces of the Attitude era.
I wish Cena hadn't already had a couple matches with Roman and put him over recently in the last few years, because I'd love for Reigns to have to face Cena night 1 and Rock night 2, and he beats them both.
That would be
Anyway,
good.
That would actually
but
be awesome.
Aaron, over to you. John Cena, always part of WWE, I think, till the end of time. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer, no doubt. What do you think? And some super chats came in too.
Yes, we do. Da Boy Fernando sent in $5 with a name I'm not sure anybody mentioned up to this point. Finn Balor has an opponent for John Cena. Finn wins clean and makes the Judgment Day look strong, or Bobby Lashley versus Cena, which would be a rematch from like 2007.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be up for that. Bobby Lashley versus
I mean,
John
they
Cena.
are making Judgment Day look strong right now. So why not have have the biggest baby face in the company's history as of right now?
I mean, there's a
Balor.
lot of options, I think, for John Cena. You could go the nostalgic route, put in Edge or Randy Orton against Cena. You could put one of the up-and-coming guys up against John Cena. One name nobody mentioned was Solo Sikoa. You could have John Cena go after Solo, and that would be a scenario where Cena could win because Solo is a relative newcomer. I don't think a loss would really hurt him that badly, and he would go toe-to-toe with John Cena at WrestleMania. Cena can get his win. Some other names that people have brought up, like if they lost to Cena, it would make them look bad. I don't think it would hurt Solo Sikoa as much as, like, say, Gunther or somebody like a Drew McIntyre. But there are a lot of choices, a lot of interesting ones, and I could definitely see Cena showing up. It's kind of crazy because I think 2022, unless he shows up at Survivor Series, which is highly unlikely, this will be the first full calendar year that he did not compete in WWE since his debut.
What about
He's been busy.
if he does come back for a match at WrestleMania for the first time ever? What about a heel Cena? I'd love for him just to do it, just to say he did
That would
it.
be nice.
And it'd be a special attraction match. So I don't know what babyface you'd put him against, but Pat McAfee, because that crowd is going to eat. Imagine Cena coming back, getting the people to boo him, and it would be easier if you put him against somebody that they love.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. And
man.
somebody did mention Pat McAfee in the chat room.
What
possibilities, fantasy booking.
What if Roman forces Sammy to go against Cena, and if he loses, he's out of the bloodline, and that's a way to get him out of the bloodline?
Yeah, it could be.
Sammy, I think, will be involved with a bloodline match, though.
Yeah.
And there's another match too: Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. If Cody's not going for the title, which I still think I'm still not sure what's up with The Rock, but let's say they put The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the title. They may end up doing that, and Cody needs a big match. There you go. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
Tito wants another Cena versus Brock match. There you go.
What about Steve Austin versus a heel John Cena?
I mean,
Could be good.
Steve Austin
Even wouldn't even have to be heel.
You could make it like it was last year with Kevin Owens. You could. There are possibilities, and they got tickets to sell. Is it sold out, JJ?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No, but they
lot,
sold about 100,000 tickets.
I tried to buy tickets. It was sold out when I
like that
tried,
place
but they released
holds.
more.
What does that place hold? Capacity 80,000.
Like 70 to 80,000.
Yeah, 70, 80.
Oh, man, they always have tickets to sell, man. Always.
Yeah,
They
for
can always
sure.
open up seats too. So
Yeah.
All right, we do have a few more super chats here. Mr. Anderson said, and I'm not so sure that this will happen anytime soon, but it could happen down the line, maybe 3 or 4 years from now. MJF leaves AEW. Cena versus MJF. If Cena's still wrestling in 3 or 4 years.
Only if MJF goes over.
Yeah.
How old is Cena? 48? 47? Like, I don't even know.
something like that.
Someone will
that.
look it up in the chat.
Something around there.
I thought he was younger than that. I thought he was like
Maybe.
44, 45.
Maybe, yeah, maybe he is. I
Something
don't
like
know.
that.
And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says heel John Cena versus babyface Johnny Gargano.
No.
That would be interesting, but
I mean, not at WrestleMania.
yeah, not WrestleMania.
Cena's 45.
45. Yep.
Yeah, if
He'll
Cena
be
comes
46
back,
in late April.
if Cena comes back, it's got to be against a top tier guy. With all due respect to Johnny Gargano, I think that's kind of a waste of Cena if you put him in there against Gargano. But if Cena sticks around, does a couple matches, SummerSlam maybe versus Johnny Gargano, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
That was a nice little last run
What?
he had.
What if a heel Cena is what leads to Roman Reigns finally going babyface again?
I'm just saying, man, Roman did it and it was successful. What if Cena got that acting itch? Because he's an actor now. He's like, I want to do this.
And
calls up Triple H. Hey, there's a project I want to do. I want to be heel in front of the WWE audience.
There you
Again,
go.
again, because he was a heel in the early days. But
Yeah.
I mean,
If he
played a
does
couple
that,
villains.
I want to see a little
He's
run,
in
not
Hollywood,
just
so.
a one-time thing. I would rather see a little, maybe 6-month run to a year. Like if
Yeah,
you did that.
at least as long as Hollywood Rock lasted. Do a
Yeah.
Hollywood Cena run.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael Wayne, I know you're a big Virtue supporter. In the age of nostalgia, heel Cena, there's never anything too little too late anymore. Ever. Never. Because like the Austin thing last year, I would have never believed that. You know,
True.
just the way it played out.
Yeah, very
So-
true. I mean, it could happen. I mean, it's a new era with Triple H in charge. Never say never. And by the way, TJS is here. Tyler the Toilet sent in $5 and he says, "Say no to yes DQ. I have stopped watching AEW since CM Punk left, but will still buy the pay-per-views. It doesn't feel major league. And thoughts on I was gonna say Hollywood. Halloween ends." Virtue, you're the Halloween guy. I thought we talked about this.
Yeah, like I
did.
did not hate it. I did not hate it. And I'm all about new characters and new character development. The one thing I would have liked them to have done is to have made that new character in the movie. I don't want to give it spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen it, but the new people that was, controversial, if they could have made him Michael's son somehow, like when Michael was in the insane asylum, a nurse like drugged him and got on him and had sex. That would have been like interesting, right? Like the whole Vince Russo, do something like that. But I did not hate it.
I did not hate it either. I thought
So
it
I
was
didn't hate it,
not
but
good.
I didn't hate it.
I thought it was
But
too
I-
much of a
yeah.
love story. It seemed
Yeah, I
like.
did not hate it.
And is it me or did TJS look like Mayor Kane in that picture?
Ah,
Well, that's probably what he was going for. He's that type of guy. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, "Yes, DQ is more over than control your narrative."
I think
For
I think that's
EC3,
dead in the
man.
water.
He really tried something underground, but
Yeah.
it's so hard.
You got to give the guy credit, but yeah, he's not over in
Yeah.
pretty much any capacity at this point, unfortunately.
He's not over.
What else we
It's
got, guys?
over.
That's it. Are we caught up on the super chats, Aaron?
We're caught up, so we are in After Dark.
Ready to do our plugs.
territory.
And I did want to answer something Tito put way back in the chat if he's still watching. there's a new video game out with Sonic the Hedgehog, and it is unbelievable. My favorite game of the year. Who thought a 3D Sonic game could be as fun as that game? And I know there's some haters out there that didn't like it, right? They got to go and put the 1 out of 5 type deal. But I love the fan base of Sonic the Hedgehog eating it up. Big G.
Mine's
Yes.
has been downloading this whole time. I
What?
bought it online.
Oh,
My
the game,
Sonic.
dude,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Mix of all if you're a classic Sonic the Hedgehog fan, you're gonna like this game because of stuff in it. But with that said, this is wrestling, not a video game chat. So go ahead, Big G, do your plug.
Yes, you can follow me at NoDQ.com/BigBiology. That'll take you to my Twitter and NoDQ.com or BigBiology 1988 on TikTok. And that is it for me.
All right, happy to be here. Walter Cruz.
I am on Twitter at Walter Alex Cruz and on Instagram at Cowfire Farms. You can see the type of content it is on there. And I am now have my own shirt on NoDQ. Make sure you go look at the whole entire lineup. That's why my name is Cheap Plug right there. Look at the whole lineup on NoDQ. We got the new Wolf Pack. I'm stealing Aaron's shtick now.
Yeah,
we got the new Wolf Pack shirts. We got Virtue's entire lineup. We got my lineup. Cleveland, Colin Andrews has shirts. So just go on NoDQ and look for those.
All right, Walter Cruz. And now, of course, JJ, pleasure to have you on. You know you're welcome on anytime. Claim your spot. That's what I try to tell Walter and Big G to do all the time. Instead of asking, claim it.
No
JJ.
worries, man.
Damn
You know, it's always a crapshoot for me as to when I'm going to be available. So I just try to wait in the wings for a good opportunity. But if you want to tune in and check out some of my content over on the Casa D18 Studios channel, Renegade Reviews is my bread and butter. I'm doing Sandra Bullock movies this month. I've already done Love Potion number 9, Demolition Man, The Net. I've still got such movies as A Time to Kill, Murder by Numbers, and The Proposal coming up. You can also check out Went Live today on both my network and the Jeff Meacham network. Me and Jeff doing our top 10 ECW November to Remember matches. Make sure you tune in on Saturdays for open mic night. And that last graphic shows you where you can find me.
Nice. I like that Sandra Bullock picture. She's a hottie.
Yes, she is.
I liked the net back in the day because that was like the mid 90s when like computers were just kind of coming up.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
very,
exactly.
That and
very
Speed.
intrigued by that movie, the way the identity, stealing an identity. All right, Aaron, over to you.
This is After Dark, which means people can theoretically send in super chats for non-wrestling questions, and we'll answer them until Big G is just completely done with himself and
True.
I'm
leaves the
good.
chat.
I'm good. Let's go for this.
All right, well, we do have one right now. We'll see if anybody else sends in anything. Psycho Jet Black, Virtue, you'll appreciate my response. Better Halloween movie, Rob Zombie or Resurrection? Rob Zombie.
Rob
Easy.
Zombie all the way.
Resurrection
Of course you
is
know I like
the
Rob's.
worst Halloween movie, period. Not even up for debate as far as I'm concerned.
What, you didn't like
Are
Busta
you-
Rhymes kicking
Aaron-
Michael Myers' ass? No, I'm kidding.
Aaron, on Resurrection, are you most upset because the beginning they had to like ruin the end of H2O because
Yeah.
of that? Yeah, that was one
Mhm.
thing there, and that was at the beginning, and it just made me salty the
Yeah.
whole.
I was
time.
salty, and like Big G said, the whole Busta Rhymes thing was ridiculous.
Yeah, I could have dealt with Busta's character if he had not tried to do the whole kung fu fighting with
Yeah.
Michael. Like if that part had been left out and he had just gone like straight fists with him,
Mhm.
I could have been a little bit
Yeah.
better with his character.
Like Jason takes Manhattan when that guy was boxing him. I mean, that was
Yeah.
I like that. That was like
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite part.
I mean,
Great scene.
they did
What?
foreshadow it though by showing
Yeah.
Busta's character watching the martial arts movie earlier in the movie, so
Yeah.
it made sense storyline wise. But man,
I mean, that's what it took to beat Michael Myers. You just have to do a little bit of kung fu moves.
Who knew the UFC had the answer the whole time?
Yeah. The This Guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat, not a question or anything. He just said next time there's a Saturday panel, he wants to be on. Not sure when the next Saturday
Aaron,
panel
wasn't there
will
a
be.
guy? Wasn't there a guy that sent a test video to us that wanted to debate me? We got
Yeah.
but what was that about? Was it Punk?
Might have
He's-
been, and that
so,
might
yeah.
be dated material.
But I don't want to think we forgot about it. I think it was whatever we're going to debate. that Punk thing happened, and it wouldn't have made sense like to be relevant. But we gotta
try to get a debate
because he was
before the end
good.
of
The
the year.
video he showed me, I was like, man, I want to. He was like from Staten Island or something, or somewhere in New York. I was like, oh man.
No.
Okay, we'll see.
All right. So yeah, we're all wrapped up here. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest.
All right. Follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue, just like you see right down there. Be sure to go to NoDQ.com/merch and get the latest Virtue shirt, the I Am Sorry shirt, and the vintage collection is now over there on that site as well. And early bird, right? 20% off right now.
Correct.
You can't
for
beat
the next
that.
month.
So go, if you don't have any Virtue shirts, go buy every single one. Use a 20% off. And you know what? Buy the Big G shirt. Buy the Walter Cruz shirt. JJ, you have a Renegade shirt over there too, right?
I do on the Jeff Meacham one on Pro
There.
Wrestling Tees.
There. Other site, but still, go do it. That's it, folks. This has been the NoDQ Review 212. John Cena brought the numbers this week for Aaron Riff, for JJ the Renegade, Walter Cruz, and Big G happy to be here. I'm Virtue. Good night.